From the films to the games to vintage toys to new toys, I will never be able to give up Star Wars, and I am pretty excited for Skeleton Crew, and I will tell you why. I will try to explain why I cannot give up Star Wars, and why, of all people, you should trust my opinion on this. I will try to explain all of that next on Toy Gains. Toy Gains! Yes! You and me, baby! Toy Gains! I can't take it anymore! It's Toy Gains! Begin with the films. Rogue One is a modern masterpiece in Star Wars. It really put the wars in Star Wars, and Phantom Menace, for all its flaws, still manages to shine in areas of design and sound and in the action scenes. Not a good movie, but in some cases, a fun movie. Flawed, but fun. Listen, I'm not a super fan to any one property. I may have a Dark Souls tattoo of Solaire. I do love Dark Souls, but I don't think it's the best game of all time. I have a G.I. Joe, a Rasquiage tattoo on my arm, like Storm Shadow. Yeah, I do kind of think G.I. Joe might be the best toy. I don't know. I love Mask and I love Star Wars. I love DC figures. I love GoBots. I love Transformers. I'm not a super fan to anything. I'm in it for fun designs. I'm in it for fun experiences. So sometimes you get something that's not that great. Sometimes you get something that's great. Let me move on. I will keep trying to explain. I'm not trying to win you over on this. Don't misconstrue this as something where I'm coping or try to convince you to like something you don't like. That's fine if you think it's gone through shit, because in many ways it has. We will talk more on that. Let's move on to games. So, Knights of the Old Republic, I lost my copy. I have it for the Switch now. Probably the best Star Wars game of all time. I bought an Xbox just because they had some exclusive Star Wars games. They had the port of Pod Racer, and they have Star Wars and Obi-Wan Adventures. This is not a good game. So it's not that the Star Wars games have also been up and down, but they still have the things that make Star Wars great: sound effects, characters, design. And that's why Outlaws is worth playing. I wouldn't pay full price for it, but I'm telling you, if you want to run around in a Star Wars universe, it's almost like a museum. It's a very playable museum, and almost like a museum. You can't touch things, if that makes sense. Sure, you could play Sabacc, so you could bet on races. You can see a lot of fun interactions, but a lot of it is window dressing. Worth playing because it's in that Star Wars universe. This game is fantastic. It's like Dark Souls mixed with Star Wars. Best of both worlds. And that's my point again. Again. With the Star Wars, anything, books, movies, films, games, there's something there there's a little bit of magic there. Something that no other property does. You know, it has pieces of science fiction, has pieces of like mythological stuff. You know, their own form of dragons, their own form of wizardry. It hasn't been matched. And this is someone that I enjoy the Harry Potter franchise. I enjoy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I enjoy a little bit of everything. Again, I'm not a super fan to anything, though. So let's move on to toys, and I'll explain a little more. Some of my first toys I've owned, of course, Princess Leia. This is a toy and movie franchise that got boys to want to play with girls. Not only did you want to save the princess, in some instances you wanted to be her to shoot stormtroopers and clunk them over the head. And sure, that happened also later on with G.I. Joe and Motu. I liked Teela, and I loved using Lady J. She was my jam. But Star Wars was one of the first, and that's what makes it also special. That's kind of something they kind of forget now. The Acolyte was such a failure because they wanted to throw it in our face. that it was about widows. It was about women. They wanted to just shove it down our throats when Star Wars is really about everyone collectively. That's why Rogue One was so special. Group effort, team effort. Was there a woman lead? Yes, but she was a piece of that huge puzzle that made the team. These are some figures I picked up this year. Hammerhead, awesome. This guy is from Skeleton Crew. He looks like the Mos Eisley Cantina Wolf. His name is Brutus. Hard to pick up. A lot of nice detail. A lot of nice sculpt work in there. I can't talk tonight. I'm jazzed up to play video games all night. It's Friday. I'm going to dry brush some things on those feathers. Here's some pics here where there's detail. I like this character. I'm excited for Skeleton Crew because I have a child. I could watch it with her. Look at this cute guy. Spectre Creative, you were wrong, baby. This is not Max from the band, that blue elephant dude, different species. I actually think they designed this character and then got it wrong and then had to course correct. This totally was supposed to be that elephant. Max Rebo, whatever his name is. This was totally supposed to be that species. And then I'm sure Star Wars purists looked it up and they were like, wait a minute. These things only have 2 legs. And then they backpedaled and said, no, it's not supposed to be that. I swear to you, that's what happened. A lot of people were getting on Toy Guru over that. Toy is fun. Looks like Mario with an elephant head. Skeleton Crew is just what Star Wars needs. A lot of people think they're doubling down on it being kiddie. I don't think they are. It doesn't, in the trailer, it doesn't look like there's a lot of slapstick going on. And that's what drove me nuts about the latest trilogy, especially with Finn, and everything was so slapsticky. It continued from Jar Jar. The original trilogy, other than some stuff going on with C-3PO and the Ewoks, there was humor, but there wasn't a lot of slapstick nonsense. Skeleton Crew doesn't look like it has that. Sure, there's kids in it, but Jude Law looks badass. Some of the design looks badass. And if you can't be excited for stuff, man, I almost said eggs-cited. You don't want to become the adult that some of our parents were. My dad, God bless him, cool mother effer, he did not like science fiction shit. And that's what kind of made him an adult sometimes. And maybe that made him mature. But I don't know. In a lot of ways, I'm more mature than him because, you know, I'm despite having all these toys, I'm saving money for my daughter. He didn't save a penny for my ass. And let me just go further on. I like design. Good design. I think this is good design. Hammerhead is classic. R2-D2 is great. I don't even know who the I don't know who this is. He was on sale on Amazon, and it reminds me of something from Star Wars. And I picked him up. And that's my point where I'm not a super fanboy to anything. I like it all. I kind of love it all. Fun design is fun design. And sometimes you just have to appreciate things from a design standpoint. And if there's bullshit in there that's not fun, you stop watching. But it comes down to toys for me too. And if I can get some fun out of the toys, if I can get a little bit of fun out of the games, if I could watch something as shitty as The Acolyte was and at least be entertained for an hour or two, I'm cool with it. That's all I got to say. Let me know what you think. Am I nuts? Do you still like a little bit of Star Wars? Do you get what I'm saying in that? There's some magic left in it if you look for it. And as long as you're not a super fanboy of it, you're not going to get your tits in a knot. You know what I mean? Anyway, take care. Have fun. Have a great weekend.
Woo! Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah!